A side effect of Team Fortress 2 being old is that the discussion around the game has spiraled and diversified so much to the point that a lot of people are starting to draw blanks when it comes to finding a brand new topic to cover. We got weapon reviews, map reviews, class reviews, merch reviews, and so much more that when someone says they want to review TF2, like the whole thing, you kinda raise an eyebrow. You just think to yourself, really? This game has so many moving parts, niches, possibilities, intricacies, and you want to just review the whole thing? You've likely heard so many TF2 videos start with, Team Fortress 2 was released in 2007 by Valve Software, it features 9 playable classes, blah blah blah, whatever. Do you even give that 2007 number any thought? I mean, that's like 16 plus years ago. TF2 used to be so much simpler, with only 6 maps, no unlockable weapons, and a hefty $30 price tag. It really was a different universe to the Team Fortress we have now. So what did people think of it initially, all the way back in 2007? Well, we can find out. I've had my hands on a 2007 copy of TF2 for quite some time now, so I'll get any relevant visual stuff myself, and when I can't, I've also dug up some time-accurate 2007 background footage that you can feast your eyes on as well. But you can leave all that internet archaeology to me, so just sit back, relax, maybe grab an atomic punch if you're so inclined, and join me as we take a look through TF2 reviews, blog posts, videos, and opinion pieces all the way back from 2007. Without any further ado, let's begin. Where else to start than gaming journalists, the most trustworthy of sources?
New Super Mario Bros. Wii is a tough game. Old school tough, so you better bring your butt-stomping A-game, as this will test even the most seasoned platforming veterans.
Well, they used to be a whole lot more respected back in the day anyway. I've compiled a nice list of them, so let's look at some highlights. The IGN review immediately comes to mind. An interesting tidbit about the IGN review is that it kept comparing TF2 to another game that released around the same time. Enemy Territory Quake Wars, which has seen its own share of setbacks and delays, finally came out around the same time. Their nearly simultaneous retail release presents an interesting situation for you, the consumer, as to how to spend your cash. Huh, that's interesting. Let's see how Quake Wars is doing now. Oh, whoops! That one match 15 years ago probably went hard though, I ain't knocking it. The IGN review, and many of the others, also gush about graphics a whole bunch. One particularly interesting part was when he called Team Fortress 2 a very detailed game. The graphics in this game are simply stunning. During rounds, you'll see heavies laugh heartily while blasting forth a cone of lead from their miniguns. The animations of dispensers and sentry guns as they're being erected will cause you to actually stop playing the game and just watch as the various parts lock into place like a transformer. You'll switch between weapons just to see the weapon readying animation of the characters, like the way the wire on the sniper's rifle scope always sways ever so slightly, or how the patches of tinted metal on the scout's scattergun gleam in the sunlight. It's really interesting to read this because we don't really notice or care about stuff like this anymore. Well, some things we don't notice because they were outright removed, but when it comes to stuff like engineers' buildings, I've seen them build up so much over the years that it just doesn't register anymore. I feel like just replacing it with a timer would have the same effect nowadays. Goes to show just how long we've all been playing. There's a couple really simple mechanics that TF2 still has that play a role every single day. Here's another quote. After every time you die, you're treated to a freeze frame of your killer, who's often caught in hilarious poses, particularly if you were a pyro and had set them on fire. If you were splattered into pieces, the snapshot labels body parts like your head, pancreas, and appendix with little colored flags if they're in the scene. It's a simple feature that adds nothing to the gameplay, but does so much to keep you coming back in anticipation of the next surprise, wanting to find something else to smile about. It's honestly heartwarming that this simple feature is still making thousands of people laugh to this day. While today's kill cams might be a little more ridiculous than the ones in 2007, I feel like the spirit of a funny picture appearing after hearing will never not be funny. IGN review gave it an 8.9 if you were curious, which I think is still fair enough today. I'd like to turn your attention to the review by the Escapists website. It's a lot more obsessed with comparing it to Team Fortress Classic, which makes a lot of sense. It's funny to think about how the discussion of TFC versus TF2 went from, is TF2 a worthy successor, to, haha, look how bad TF1 is, haha, Banana Land! Though you can see this shift slowly forming even back then, as in the conclusion they write, I now look back on Team Fortress Classic and see a primitive ancestor rather than an unspoiled original, which is rare for me. So often sequels miss the point, accentuate the wrong things, but TF2 doesn't pervert anything. When I choose to play a sniper, I'm still a sniper, just a sniper on a much better team with a more defined role. Consider it highly recommended, either as part of the bundle or on its own. For a game you might find yourself playing for the next 8 years, it's definitely worth the green. I find that 8-year estimate really interesting as well, because now it's been double that time and TF2 is still peaking in player numbers. Genuinely wild.
We're on one of the coolest maps in the game. We're on the main Thunder, the Striking Thunder, the Big Thunder, Thunder Mountain, baby.
No, silly Germa. It's the sponsor of today's video, War Thunder. What's War Thunder? Only the most comprehensive vehicle combat game possibly ever. Every single vehicle is modeled down to the smallest details, down to the individual components. And guess what? There's more than 2,000 of them. That's right, tanks, planes, helicopters, ships, and combined dynamic PvP action galore. Spanning over 100 years of technological advancements, from 1920s Panzer III to the modern-day Leopard 2 A6, with hundreds of customization options to match, you're bound to find a vehicle that works for your style of play. My personal favorite is the Apache AH-64, a highly mobile heli that packs quite the punch. And with the detailed vehicle damage system, graphically impressive smoke and fire effects, I can immerse myself within the battlefield of War Thunder. So go and play War Thunder now using the link in my pinned comment or the video description. Because for a limited time only, if you haven't played for 6 months, you can claim an exclusive large bonus pack which includes multiple premium vehicles, premium account, and an exclusive 3D decorator for all your vehicles and much, much more. And guess what? It's free right now on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. Back to the video. Back to the video. It's 3 AM and it's back to the video. Destructoid has been very impressed with TF2 as well, but the reviewer did cite a major flaw with the game. This eventual monotony of the maps, when you come right down to it, is the only thing I can really complain about. But it's not a negligible one, to my mind. 6 maps, while understandable and sufficient for a game which had just been released, can grow old rather quickly in a game like Team Fortress 2. It's not that the maps are badly designed, they aren't, but the game's intensely fast-paced style necessitates very short rounds and subsequently reasonably short times on any individual map. The maps are great fun, of course, but within a week or two of first playing the game, you'll have made it through each one at least 20 times and, sooner or later, they'll begin to grow noticeably tiresome. Of course, any map in any multiplayer game will eventually get old with enough extended play, but I was rather surprised to find myself getting a little sick of Gravel Pit and Well after just 2 weeks. It's funny how back then, 6 maps was just too little, while nowadays most players just stick to 2 or 3 maps at all times. It doesn't even matter what part of the community you come from. If you're a community server hoodlum, you probably only stick with Hightower, 2 Fort, and maybe Turbine if you're feeling frisky. I have a bunch of maps selected for casual, but I can find myself more often than not on either Badwater, Upward, or Harvest. That's not even mentioning the fact that comp players only play on Process for some fucking reason. I find that map so boring, I don't know how you guys can play it all day. Games Radar does nothing but praise TF2 in their review, but they have to have a pros and cons list at the end of their reviews, so the cons are just like, maybe too simplified. Weird complaint, but alright. Cartoony visuals may distract from killing, that is just flat out wrong on so many levels. Competes with Halo 3 multiplayer.
Mom's obviously not home, eh? What? What was
Mom's
that?
obviously not home, that's why you're talking like that.
I can't hear, your mic is so shitty.
I can't hear you, your mic is so shitty.
Yeah, pack it up, TF2 bros. I suppose to conclude what game journos thought, just, man, you never really see them gush about a game this much. The way they talk about the game really makes it no surprise that it's still so popular to this day. They're known for having a whole lot of brain-toy takes, but man, with TF2, they were pretty spot on. I could spoon-feed you articles by professionals all day, but let's get personal. I have compiled a bunch of videos from months after TF2's release, where passionate gamers share how much they fell in love with the game nearly instantly. Enjoy.
I was a demo man, and I was putting pipe bombs on the inside of a door, and I was playing defensively. And the door opens up, and there's a heavy, and he comes through, and of course everyone's really expressive in the game. He's just like, "Argh." And then I blew my pipe bombs, and he's just like, his face went blank, and his eyes just kind of, and then he like backed up and walked away, and the door closed. But it was like the best moment ever. It was like, yeah, that's right.
I think you can chain. So I saw one guy as a medic healing a heavy, and then another doctor healing the medic.
That's awesome.
It's like this caterpillar walking down this.
Like for example, I was playing yesterday. I was sniper. I'm pretty good with that sniper thought Team Fortress 2. So I've been told, and I just passed my 100 hours sniper. So a friend of mine in Never was doing rocket jump as soldier, and I hit him with a headshot while it was rocket jump. And he's like, "Oh, what the fuck!" Like, damn you, Helios. Yeah, that was really funny. I was laughing.
If there isn't one other game out there that I'm going to play on and off for the next year, it's going to be Team Fortress.
The graphics are awesome. The gameplay's great.
Critical hits, dude, that's bullshit. That does not belong.
This is me in Team Fortress, and as you can see, I have 32 kills, 0 deaths. Alright.
Heavy weapons guy has a big fucking gun and he shoots shit up. I have to say, it's one of my favorite games of the year.
9.5 out of 10 is the final score. It's a great game, highly recommend it.
Team Fortress 2 could have a lot of updates in the future that could add additional classes, additional playstyles, and more maps.
Team Fortress 2. It's a really cool first-person shooter that they included in the orange box.
Team Fortress 2 is a bunch of fun and is guaranteed to be amusing for you and your friends, and also entertaining at the same time. Be prepared to stick to your chair like glue as you battle your enemies online to achieve victory. If you like fast-paced FPS games, then you will love this game. We highly recommend you get it and join the Team Fortress 2 community.
Alright.
TF2's reach will always be insane to think about. A whole community of wonderful people that I'm just so happy to be a part of. I'm willing to wager that absolutely no one watching started playing all the way back in 2007. But that's not really the point, you know? If you're here, watching this, and hitting that subscribe button like you should be doing, you know what I'm saying, it means that you've fallen in love with TF2 as much as I have. As much as these people did all the way back in 2007. And I think that's something really special. The name's Indy, and I hope you stick around. Don't forget to check out the sponsor, War Thunder.
Team Fort 2 is made by Valve, who also make shit games like Half-Life, Counter-Strike, and Portal. Needless to be think, this game is shit game.